guys? Welcome to another edition of Gear Breaker Nation, and we're starting off the first episode in our series, Breaker Debates. This is episode 1, and in this episode we're going to be talking about characters we want to see in the Super Smash Bros. Universe. And I have with me my co-host, Zachary. I'm Narik Chase. You know who I am. You know what we do. We talk about games, movies, and everything. So let's get on with this Breaker Debate. So, first on the list, who do you think we should come up with on the Super Smash Bros, man?
First of all, I think we need to see Banjo Kazooie.
Banjo Kazooie. I haven't played Banjo Kazooie like that. I played a little bit of it, but I haven't really played it like that.
The old one for the N64 was by far the best. I think he would be a great addition to Super Smash Bros. Because I think he would have a great list of melee moves. And not to mention, he would probably have astonishing jump features. I think he could jump all around those damn levels because.
And Banjo Kazooie was the bear with the bird on his back, right?
Yes.
Yes. Now I do remember playing some of it. That was a pretty fun game. Do remember playing some of it.
I mean, he's crazy. He's hype. You know, I think people would really get into that type of character. Just like they do with all the other characters.
You think it'd be kind of like somewhat of an offshoot of like Donkey Kong a little bit, like more of a powerhouse character?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe he would be.
Okay, next we're going to talk about Bomberman. Now I don't know about any of y'all, but Bomberman used to be the shit back in the day. I used to love playing Bomberman. And it seems like a default type thing kind of a little bit to me.
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen him in this new Super Smash Brothers. Back in the day, I played Bomberman quite a few times. And looking back and thinking about it, I do think he would make a great addition to Super Smash Brothers. He just seems like he would fit right in that category, especially with all the other new characters they're talking about adding to Super Smash Brothers these days. It's like, well, why haven't y'all come up with Bomberman yet? Why hasn't he come up yet?
You know, they're like thinking of like attacks and stuff, like cause he could throw bombs. What if he can like, I don't know, do like say if he's flying through the air, he can just like use a bomb to like soar off or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he could probably use that, you know, as like a save ability to, you know, save yourself from falling off the level.
Yeah.
Because I know every character needs to have some kind of move that, you know, saves you from getting knocked out. And I think that would work well for Bomberman.
I kind of think it'd be kind of cool if he could use a bomb to kind of like plant it on people or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he can, like his ultimate attack, he has a really big bomb that he just like summons and just destroys the whole board. Not destroy the whole board.
Nah, that would be too overpowered. We don't want to go down that road.
So who we got next on the list?
I think we also need to see K. Rool from Donkey Kong 64.
Of course.
I know a lot of people think that he's just a giant, you know, he's a giant alligator. But anyone who plays Bowser would relate to a character like that. Although Bowser has, you know, he has fire breath, so he kind of has a range attack. K. Rool, I don't think would really have one. But I think given K. Rool's sheer size, I think would be more than enough to even him out on the playing field. The only problem I would foresee with this is I don't know what kind of ability he would have to like really jump high or jump back onto the level if he gets partially knocked off. But I still think he would make a good addition, you know, because we don't really have any characters anything bigger than Bowser out there.
You remember when you fight against him on the Donkey Kong Country for the original Super Nintendo?
Did not finish that one.
Well, he has, when you're trying to fight him, you're fighting on a pirate ship. And one of his attacks is, he rushes, he's like, dun, 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 dun.
Kind of like a tackle.
Yeah, but he does it, and every time he does it, he gets faster and faster. Every time he does it.
Well, that would be a great move.
And then another attack he has, he jumps, he's like, boom, boom. And he can summon like cannonballs and stuff. So, like, that would be a pretty fucking awesome ass idea.
That would be.
Because I don't think we got a character that does like a rush attack like that. I'm not sure.
And if they ever would incorporate him and he did have that move, they would of course they would have to make that move blockable, or else people would complain that he's overpowered and you know they can't block that move.
Yeah.
Because he would be so large that even if you're on like a different level on the board, he would probably still be able to hit you regardless.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. K. Rool is kind of one of those you would expect, especially when they're bringing out all these antagonists from these other ones. Ganondorf, Wario, Meta Knight, course, you got King DDD, Bowser. You know, K. Rool seems like he should be next up on the list.
Yeah, K. Rool's someone who kind of gets. I feel he gets looked over a little bit.
Another character I want to see is Buck Bumble. I don't know if any of y'all remember it. I don't know if you played it or not, but you play as this bee, this bumblebee. And he has like a gun. Well, he gets an assortment of guns, and you're flying around like this big garden or this big set, and you're shooting all of these other bugs, that like bad guys and stuff. And like the flying mechanics for that time was actually pretty impressive.
I want to say I might have seen a couple of my friends play that game, but I've never personally played it myself. Never owned it. Might have seen some people play it, but I'm not very familiar with that certain character.
I mean, he's actually a total badass, and I really wish that they actually kind of kept up with the series, like updated or something. Cause Nintendo could easily that seems like that would be a good entry to like the Nintendo franchise. Cause like I said, I've never played a game like that before, and it's a fucking badass game. But bring him back, please bring him back. He deserves it.
All right. And another thing I think we need to see, maybe if you don't incorporate all of them, just maybe incorporate one of them. One of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not picky as to which one. I know they all have their own different abilities, but if they can't incorporate all of them, at least incorporate one of them. I don't really care which one. I'm not picky. I think one of the turtles would have a good spot in this game, given their extensive combat abilities.
I have to say, if they did it, it had to be Michelangelo. That seemed like a setting for him.
I would almost say Donatello, but like I said, it's up in the air, and if they can't do all four, just do one.
Yeah. I actually you do really make a good point about the Ninja Turtles being in a game like this, because I actually think they would fit in a game like this, like being able to use ninjutsu, and I think the ninjutsu would kind of be like a play of Sheik mixed with a little bit of Meta Knight, which I think would be pretty awesome.
I would definitely be able to see the Meta Knight side coming on to there.
So Ninja Turtles, okay. Third, next up on the list, of course, since Sonic was put in here, we have to add Knuckles. Knuckles has to be brought to Super Smash Bros. Games. Don't wait. We already know what time it is. Come on now. We already know what time it is. Bring Knuckles on the scene. It's
funny you say Knuckles, because I've actually seen some forums on the computer. A lot of people actually don't want to see Knuckles.
Oh man, they don't. You know what? The only way I would somewhat agree with that is if they can't balance him out with Mighty Joe, because now that you got Mighty Joe, and Mighty Joe is a puncher, so you got Knuckles and two boxers in the same ring. Like a game like this, it'd be kind of hard to differentiate.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Another one I would like to see in this game, Spyro.
That's a definite. Spyro definitely deserves a spot in the Smash Bros. Universe. It's like, where is he?
Honestly, I don't even know what they're doing with the Spyro games these days. I have not heard anything new from the Spyro community. I don't think they've made anything recently at all. So I think if they were to incorporate Spyro into Super Smash Bros., that would kind of put Spyro back on the map.
Yeah.
Because it seems like he's been pushed way back, and no one really talks about Spyro anymore. No one really cares about the Spyro games anymore, honestly.
I think the last one I played was the one where he was like linked to this female dragon. They both of them had these collars on.
What system was it for?
I want to say it's for the 64. It might be for the PlayStation. I'm not sure though.
I know the last Spyro game I saw was for the Xbox 360, and honestly, I didn't like it. It just wasn't the Spyro that I remember growing up as a kid on the Nintendo 64 and on my PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with his fire breath and definitely his flying abilities, I mean he fit right in with Smash Brothers.
And can he like take on other elements too, like lightning and ice and stuff like that too?
I believe he can. Ice, lightning, I'm not so sure about. Possibly, if I can remember correctly. But yeah, the different elements would definitely be an addition to his arsenal.
Yeah. Okay. So we got Spyro. and not to mention it, yes, Spyro definitely should be in this damn game. Y'all better quit playing. You hear me? Okay, got another one. I want to see my girl Dixie Kong in there. I'm sorry. I love Donkey Kong. I love Diddy Kong. And a party ain't a party without Dixie Kong in the mix with these cats. Especially considering we want to see King K. Rool too. So
I can definitely see Dixie Kong in this game. You know, especially coming when I used to play on the Donkey Kong 64. That one move she had when she was flipping her hair around, and it's one of her melee moves. You know, she flips her pigtails around, and it actually knocks her opponents around.
yeah, like a swiping attack. Yeah.
I can definitely see her doing that in the arena. And then she also has a range attack. It's like a bow and arrow sort of, but she fires like feathers, I think. And those are really effective in Donkey Kong 64 as well.
I kind of want to say I think I remember that.
And I don't remember if they did, but I thought they could track like your targets or whatever. I don't know if they would incorporate that into Super Smash Brothers because people might consider that cheating or whatever. But I remember Diddy Kong's twin pistols could.
Yeah.
You could lock onto your targets and your peanuts would fly off, and they would literally just track your enemies.
I kind of want to say I remember that too. Did they like spin or something like
Yes.
that? Yeah. Okay.
They spun end over end.
Yeah. So yeah, Dixie Kong be pretty good. And not to mention, she has that one thing when she jumps and she twirls. Yeah. So that'd be like a good offensive / jumping capability for her.
It would be a good defensive to get her back on the map if you get knocked off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we all know every character needs to have some kind of fallback. Another character for me, I need to see Torok.
Alright,
Not the new Torok from the Xbox. No, that character was terrible. I'm talking about the old Torok dinosaur hunter from the Nintendo 64. The one that used bow and arrows, and I mean, sure, you had the pistols and your shotguns, but in those games you were really limited on your ammunition, so most of the time you stuck with a bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just a bow and arrow, you had, different versions. You had a flaming arrow, you had poison arrows, all sorts of stuff like that.
I want to see that one gun when you cheated, you got the one gun that's caused like a big massive nuclear explosion. We put the cheats in. I'm sorry, I played the game and I beat the game without the cheats, but after I got those cheats, I was like, I was like God of War that game.
I think given his arsenal of weaponry, he would be one of the best ranged characters in the game. I can't really speak too much of his melee skills because you don't really see those too much.
Yeah.
I mean, he would probably have just the basic stuff, which I think would be enough to get him by.
So you think he'll be like a good opponent against someone like Link? Because Link is more like an equipment type character.
Yeah, I would like to see him and Link go head to head. With good players playing them, I think that would be an interesting fight.
Yeah. Okay. So.
As an offensive defensive move, I mean, if you get knocked off the map with him, you could probably use a grappling hook or something, grapple back onto the level, and then slingshot back up.
That actually makes sense. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Turok does got a lot of equipment, a lot of weaponry, so we could just throw that on the mix too.
And yeah, unfortunately, if you ask me what was a terrible 360 game for Torok, I think putting him back in Super Smash Bros. Would kind of bring some light back to that character. Because I think, after the 360 game came out, it really fell off.
The 360 game wasn't bad. It was definitely a darker tone.
It was a darker tone, but
some elements were there, some elements weren't.
It almost the game. I mean, the game just kind of felt unfair, really. I mean, the dinosaur at the end is insanely difficult to beat, even on easy difficulty. You just can't beat that thing for nothing. It'll take you literally all day, if not just a few hours, just to beat her. And honestly, I just kind of gave up.
I need to beat the game. So coming up on another one on the list, Aurora from Child of Light. I just finished beating the game a few days ago, and she's fucking awesome. She got this big ass sword. She can use light abilities, and she has this crown that protects her from dark magic.
Now, I watched you play the game. I haven't played the game myself, but I watched you play it and listened to the community that played it. They liked it.
Yeah. She's actually a decent character, which I kind of would have wanted more. I want more content about this girl, you know. Cause I looked it up. I wanted to. She seemed. This is definitely a character I would love to see continue on in another game like Child of Light 2, or Woman of Light, or The Woman in Black. I don't know, something. But I think this character has potential to carry on a series actually.
Well, what are her skills really?
Like I said, outside of a sword fighting, she has light abilities, and then she has a crown. But then again, the game's turn-based, so that leaves interpretation open for a lot of, you know, abilities that weren't in the game. Especially when it comes to her light abilities.
Okay. Yeah, I could probably see her in there. It'll be an interesting character to see, you know, if only just for, as long as just as a DLC character. You know, make it an option for them to buy it, you know, if they don't know too much about this character, don't force them to buy it or anything.
And then this could potentially, if she wasn't it could once again potentially start our own little series.
Which they might anyways. Child of Light was a pretty decent hit I heard on the Xbox One. So, yeah, they might continue that series.
Yeah, of course.
Take a little more of a serious tone here. I want to see Duke Nukem. Not necessarily the Duke Nukem for the Xbox game that we all know was a pitiful failure, but if you recall from back in the old days, Duke Nukem 64, Duke Nukem Manhattan Project, games like that, that's the Duke Nukem I want to see. You know, the whole, where is it? You know, with that whole kick he does. I think he'd be a great addition to the game. His guns would obviously give him a ranged attack. His dual wielding his gold pistols. He's got a tremendous physical physique, so he can pretty much punch people all over the place.
Another powerhouse character with long range attacks.
And I mean, he could take a great deal of punishment. I think he would be able to take a great deal of punishment before he's able to get knocked off the map, similar to characters like Bowser, or if they were to add K. Rool into the game, something like him. And it would almost be like adding a Master Chief to the game.
And I haven't personally played Duke Nukem, which everybody kind of gets on me about. I really need to at least try one of the games out.
I think he would just be a nice addition to the game. Some people might not like it because it's a little bit too. He's a little bit of a too serious character. Some people might say, but honestly, with the release of the game on the 360, he was serious, but there was also a lot of comedy added into that game. So I think they could add in some pretty funny punchlines for him in Super Mario Smash Brothers without a problem.
And you know what? Now that you mention it, they did put Solid Snake in Brawl. Solid Snake comes from a pretty serious game series.
Yep.
So Duke Nukem, that's an option. Go ahead and consider it. Another one, Rayman. I've been playing Rayman Legends. I have been playing any of the games before that, but it's a fucking awesome game. Rayman is actually a pretty decent character, and he looks so much like a character that would be established in the Nintendo universe.
I could see him in Smash Brothers because he'd be a really fast character. I think you'd be hard pressed to knock him out of that arena if you actually land a hit on him.
Yeah. I think he would kind of be somewhat of like kind of a Kirby-ish.
Yeah, I could see him as a Kirby.
Yeah, like a Kirby-ish type character. And like I said, when he fights in the Rayman Legends, he throws down. He throws them blows. So I think he definitely fit into it, especially his animation style and some of his dialogue and everything. Definitely would fit into the Super Smash Bros. And
he'd be one of the lighter characters, so I would imagine he'd be able to kind of float through the air a little bit, glide or something.
And plus he has his little helper in the game. I can't remember what his name is, but he helps you like manipulate stuff as you navigate the levels. So maybe he can summon that cat in too. That'll help him.
Yeah, kind of like sort of like how Player Red plays.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, he could be nice. Another kind of serious character, Dracula from Castlevania. or aka Alucard.
It's been a while since I played this Castlevania series. It really has been.
I think he'd be nice in this game because I know Castlevania had a huge following of players. You know, everyone loves Castlevania. Everyone loves Dracula. Bring him into the series, and you'll get even more people, I think, to play Super Smash Bros. Than there already are, which is not even possible.
So Dracula's the bad guy, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, clarify, because I haven't really played the games like that. It's been years.
Like I said, if they bring more antagonists into Super Smash Bros., I think more people would play because everyone loves antagonists.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't have good guys all the time.
And he seemed like he'd be like a character that's like Ganondorf and Meta Knight.
Yeah, possibly more of Ganondorf rather than Meta Knight. But I think he would have a great like teleportation ability. You know, he can cover himself in dust, and then he could teleport a short distance. Don't have him teleporting all over the place, because then of course he's going to be considered overpowered and spammed. And then Nintendo's going to have to go back and buff him. And no one likes it when their players get buffed or nerfed or anything like that.
Or maybe he can like use magical attacks or summon bats or something like that.
Yeah, he could also do that.
Or in fact, say like you knock him off the board or something, he can like float back on some bats or something.
And I mean, of course, he also has sword abilities. You know, he can use a sword quite well. So he has a great melee ability right there.
Okay. It's another one to consider. Actually, it sounds like a really good idea. Another character from one of the best Legend of Zelda games, Midna. Definitely got to bring Midna to the game. She was really awesome.
I wonder how she would play. How do you think she would play in Super Smash Brothers?
I'm kind of thinking that she plays somewhat like, you know how YouTube is kind of like a telekinetic type a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to say something like that mixed with like magic, or if not that, say she plays with Link as the wolf.
Actually, I think I would rather see play as Link as the wolf. Actually, I think that would work out pretty well. You know, it would give Link
Another form too.
Yeah, it would give Link another form, which I think some people might actually enjoy.
Yeah, you're actually right about that. That's a good way to bring in Twilight Princess. Like, Midna is freaking awesome, and then if she has a smash attack, she could either turn into a human form, or humanoid form, the Twilight form, or she can go into that weird octopus form with the helmet, and just be swinging her arms around, knocking characters everywhere. I think that'd be pretty cool.
They'd have to watch it if they did that. You don't want to make that, because if she, maybe they can make it if she transforms like that. You know, do it with how much like damage you deal out or something. Once you deal out enough points of damage to players, you get that option to transform. And it doesn't have to be a permanent transformation, just make it temporary or something.
Yeah, of course. You don't want nobody to spam, man.
We don't like those spammers. Well, that's for me, and we're going to go back to the Pokemon realm here. Meowth.
Why is it Meowth on there? I think that's like one of the obvious characters.
They chose some big name Pokemon, you know, Pikachu and Charmander, all the base Pokemon. But they left Meowth out. But why? Meowth is one of the most comedic characters in Pokemon. Why would you leave him out? I mean, I think Pikachu is a much more serious character, but Super Smash Bros. Should be about some silly characters too, so why would you leave Meowth out of the equation?
Yeah, because Meowth is like one of the characters that actually makes the show.
He makes the show, and he's not, you know, he's not an underpowered Pokemon. He's not overpowered. He's certainly not overpowered. But he's only, you know, this is his first generation. He's not even evolved. Mm-hmm. So he's not going to be this, you know, kick-ass Pokemon who's whooping everyone's butts. But I think in the Smash Bros. Universe, I think he'd match up to a lot of those characters.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'd like to see him, you know, knocking Mario around or knocking Princess Peach around or something.
Or what's the one attack that he has was like the coins instead of coin toss or something like that.
That could probably fit into one of his ranged attacks, but I think people might question that.
And I think it'd be pretty cool if he maybe, perhaps, just throwing it out there, they have Jesse and James like in the background.
Actually, they could possibly play some really good support, like supporting characters. Similar to the way Player Red plays. Meowth could be on the field, but at the same time, you can have Jessica or James back there, maybe helping them. Maybe they're throwing some Pokeballs or something. Maybe they're doing something to help Meowth out, even though they hardly ever help them out in this show.
Yeah, of course. That makes sense. Once again, you gotta think of another Pokemon they ought to have a few more Pokemon up in Smash Bros. Don't you think?
Well, honestly, the only other Pokemon I would probably really want to see is Eevee. And yeah, a lot of people might say Eevee's not really a fighting type unless you evolve him into a Flareon or a Leafeon or something like that. But I think Eevee's base form would be enough to make people want to play. Because everyone loves Eevee in his base form.
Yeah, you got a point right there. And honestly, I can't really think of any Pokemon. I wanted to say Hitmonchan, but we already got a boxer.
I would love to see Blastoise, but we've already got Squirtle.
Yeah. It'd be pretty interesting if they actually had like evolutionary types, like Squirtle, and then either you deal out so much damage, or something.
And you can evolve them.
Yeah, that kind of. You hear us right now. Go ahead, take it. We gave it to you right there. So I got one more too. I got two actually. I want to say I want to see Majora. I'm sorry. I'm stuck in the Legend of Zelda right now. I love Majora. I think he'll be a pretty good character also. Not only is he like all over the place, but he can deal some like pretty cool magical attacks, I think, and do that weird floating thing that he does, where he's like laying in the air like this. Or possibly do like the boss battles where he was like kind of shifting forms a little bit. Each one was weirder than the last, but
I think I'd just rather see him in his regular form. Maybe not so much in his those weird transformations he was doing, because I didn't really. I honestly didn't really understand that.
I didn't really understand that either. It was kind of funny though.
But I think just him in his regular form, I think that would be great, honestly.
You mean the Skull Kid with the mask, that form?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So we in agreement with that. Skull Kid with the mask. Bring Majora out. We love Legend of Zelda. We are sick and tired of seeing two forms of Link that play the same way. We love Zelda. We love Ganondorf. But pull out Majora. Come on now.
And everyone loved Majora's Mask. So.
And another thing should be, they should have Link with those different forms. You got the Zora, you got the Goron, you got the Deku. Those are three different forms. That'd be some pretty good DLC.
Yeah, as DLC, yeah, that could probably be good. Alternate forms of Link, yeah, I could probably see that going.
Yeah, hey, once again, we're throwing it out there, take it. And I have to say, I don't know if y'all remember playing this game, but I played it growing up, Bubble Bobble.
I don't think I played that, honestly.
Yeah, you play as these two like small dinosaurs, and you spit bubbles up.
What system was this for?
I want to say it's for the Nintendo. It hadn't been a Nintendo system because I wasn't really in the PlayStation.
An NES?
Yeah. And I think that it would be a pretty cool idea to have those two characters. I think they play more like the Ice Climbers because it's a pair.
Yeah, if they're a pair, Ice Climber would probably be the best way to go.
And like I said, they summon bubbles and stuff. They just spit them out. That'd be pretty cool to see one just like shoot a bubble out, and then the other one bounce off that bubble or something. Or once somebody shoots a bubble and it hits a character, and it either traps that character in the bubble, or it can have an explosive effect.
Actually, yeah, that seems pretty interesting. Actually, I would probably get in on that.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all, for those that remember it, let us know. But we came up with a really good list of characters.
Yeah, I think we did. I mean, they all have viable reasons for belonging in Super Smash Brothers. Granted, I don't know if Nintendo's really going to take them seriously, but
yeah,
Nintendo is kind of jerking their audience around right now with the whole amiibo thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're coming out with new characters, but part of me wonders if they're actually listening to their own audience or if they're listening to their corporation.
Most likely the corporation. Most likely. But there you have it, guys. In the comment section below, let us know who do you want to see introduced in the Super Smash Brothers franchise? We gave you our characters that we want to see. Please do the same for us. If you like this video, share it, like it, love it, live it, watch this shit over again, because we enjoy doing this. So until our next video, this is us at GearBreakerNation.com, and we are signing out. And remember, keep those gears turning. Bam!